I'm Glenn Taylor. On behalf of my Mullins family, we wish to present to you our story about our patriarch, Antonio Molina, who as an Italian immigrant led a very unique life through the creation of our great nation, the United States of America. Throughout his life, Antonio proved to have incredible courage, strength, and adaptation to this country whom he proudly served. From the American Revolutionary soldier who recreated himself as Anthony Mullins to the Italian-bred Genoese farmer and vintner whose skill brought him to America, his life paralleled the aspirations of our country's forefathers. Thomas Jefferson knew him personally as Little Anthony, and others, such as Phillip Mazzei, Benjamin Franklin, and George Washington, were all drawn toward an elaborate plan and a unique story among the struggle of our country and its success that literally changed the world. For many years, the history of Antonio's deeds might have been hidden from us, but perhaps no less than any other uncelebrated immigrant that served their life for this country. Our nation was built on the masses of immigrants who brought their life and culture with them, which formed the character of the American melting pot it is today. As the pen itself writes and sustains history, I wish to express the pride, honor, personal effort, and joy my family has experienced in celebration of our own Italian heritage. The genealogy research with our family has continued since 2005. Through the efforts of many family members, our cousin, Marjorie O'Brien Castile, created the book Antonio Molina, Patriarch of the Anthony Mullins Family in American History. For those who wish to obtain this book, contact Marge at the following email, tnmarge@yahoo.com, and she will personally manage that for you. Within the efforts of many, I further wish to commend our cousins, Carolyn Crabb Fowler and Cheryl Mullins Martin, who continue to lead the way in actively involving themselves in their own activities of keeping our genealogy, group, and family spirit alive. This is a picture of our family at one of the gatherings we had when our family group first started. I've been told that the Anthony Mullins family in America exists with about 10,000 relatives scattered across our country, from Virginia to Tennessee and its origins there, and throughout the South, from Florida to Texas, and across the country to Michigan, Minnesota, and California, with folks I personally know. In any event, for any state in the U.S., we all represent America as a whole, and what our forefather claimed for himself. As for myself, I live in Thailand. The goal of our family now is to find our Italian descendants in Italy and continue to carry forth the joy of our family as we may unite with them. In any case, we hope you enjoy this video and inspires you to further investigate your own roots. Antonio Molina was a Genoese farmer born in Italy around 1750. The exact location of his birth is not known. However, he was probably born in an area just north of Genoa, Italy, possibly near a village called Castelletto Molina. Here you see a set of pictures our family has taken from their own interest in discovering Italy. From the grape vineyards and wine barrels to the sign pointing to the direction of Castelletto Molina, with the castle tower and the church there, they all are landmarks and places we revere as points our Antonio and family have existed. We are all simply proud of our Italian ancestry. When he was 23 years old, Antonio immigrated to the New World. He left Italy with 11 other immigrants aboard the ship Triumph, chartered by Phillip Mazzei on September the 2nd, 1773. And arrived in Virginia in December 1773. As the beginning of the story goes, it was through the encouragement of his friend Benjamin Franklin, that Phillip Mazzei became acquainted with Thomas Jefferson, and together the idea evolved about establishing an Italian-bred wine industry in Virginia. This further led to the business arrangement between Mazzei and Jefferson, as well as several other American investors, including George Washington. Mazzei initially planned to bring 50 Italian farmers to Virginia to establish the colony's first vineyard and Italian-bred market. His efforts, however, allowed him to procure only 12 individuals, but the resources of wine vines and olive trees and silkworms that were brought to America did not diminish. Mazzei had already purchased several thousand cuttings of wine vines and olive trees, as well as silkworms, which were all intended to be the resource and foundation of creating wine, olive products, and a silk production business that would enhance the Virginia economy. It was an elaborate experiment, but these 12 Italians were hard workers who created an impressive stand on a plot of land that became known as Colli. As Monticello in Italian means little mountain, Colli in Italian means little hill. Colli is located in Albemarle, Virginia, and was part of the 2,000 acres of land adjacent to Monticello, which Jefferson gave to Mazzei for this interesting experiment. As Mazzei and Jefferson became good friends through this acquaintance, the association of the names Colli and Monticello further expresses the interest and friendship they enjoyed together. Unfortunately, it was all an interest that literally withered on the vine. The Colli vineyard got off to a good start, but then many of the vines were lost due to an unusually severe frost in May 1774. Once the Revolutionary War started, this vineyard experiment finally collapsed, as many of the Mazzei laborers abandoned the vineyard at Colli and enlisted in the Revolution, beyond Mazzei's and Jefferson's personal influence and preoccupation of the war effort. Among the pictures we show here, you see this old picture of Colli as it was taken around 1900 before it was finally torn down, but parts of the home still exist within the area. Monticello still remains a beautiful tourist spot, with wine orchards and scenery which our family enjoyed during a gathering they had there in Virginia. Colli itself, and the attempt Jefferson and Mazzei, as well as Antonio and the other immigrants, hoped to achieve, is now a memory we proudly bring back to you in behalf of our family history. We do not have a picture of Anthony Mullins, but one formal documentation of Anthony's life is presented in this letter from Thomas Jefferson to Anthony's son, William. Here, Jefferson mentioned that Anthony was called Little Anthony, as well as Antonio Molina and Anthony Mullins. Such allows one to understand the interest and respect they must have had for each other. As Anthony enlisted into the Virginia Regiment of the 3rd Continental Light Dragoons, I further present Da Trionne's portrait of a light dragoon cavalry officer, as well as the Battle of Cowpens, Guilford Courthouse, and other images that readily adapt to Anthony's life during this period. As the nickname explains, he had a small stature, which could be adaptable as either a horseman or perhaps a blacksmith, as our family has speculated. He could have also been an infantryman as well. With the dragoon unit Anthony enlisted into, he could have served in any of these capacities. The portrait shows the uniform and colors of the 3rd Continental Light Dragoon unit Anthony was assigned to, with his black helmet and feather trimming, white jacket and pants with blue trimming, and his weapons as a dragoon, which included his saber, a short carbine-style musket, and a pistol. As an infantryman, a soldier would use a regular musket with a bayonet attached for close-quarter combat. Note in this picture of the Battle of Guilford Courthouse, In the background, you can see the charge of a light-colored uniformed unit, which could have been related to the 3rd Continental Light Dragoons. In the foreground, you see the infantry with their muskets and bayonets. The Dragoon unit served as a quick attack force, much related to a Ranger strike force element of modern-day warfare. As a Dragoon unit was a revered position for any soldier to be involved in, it was among the most dangerous type unit or position for any soldier or battle. Antonio Molina enlisted in the military around February 1779. He enlisted under the name Anthony Mullins because all enlistees at that time had to be native-born Americans. Thus, Anthony's induction in the military created the beginning of his Mullins family lineage in America. Anthony Mullins served in the 3rd Regiment of Light Dragoons from Virginia under Lieutenant Colonel William Washington and fought in the Battle of Cowpens as depicted here, which was Anthony's first major battle. More important, it was a decisive victory for the Continental Army and is considered a turning point of the war in the South. As his pension application further indicates, Anthony also fought in the Battle of Guilford Courthouse, the defeat of William Vittori, and the Battle of 96. In 1782, the Continental Light Dragoons were reconsolidated, and Anthony Mullins was assigned to 1st Troop, 1st Regiment of Light Dragoons until the end of the war. Anthony proudly served in the Revolutionary War for 4.5 years and was discharged on August 21st, 1783. At that time, Anthony was 33 years old and had sustained himself for almost 10 years as a farmer and a battle-hardened soldier, but his life in America had only begun. After the war, Anthony returned to Albemarle County, Virginia, and married Polly Clark on November the 2nd, 1784. They had 10 children. Polly died, unfortunately, in 1807, either during or shortly after the birth of their 10th child, Martin. On January the 18th, 1809, Anthony married his second wife, Sarah Sally Rambos. Sally was about 23 to 26 years old and had no mother or father. Anthony was 59 years old then, but during their marriage, they had 8 more children. Sally had 4 children before they moved to Tennessee in 1815, but she had 4 more children while living in Tennessee. The pictures shown here include the original place as it exists now in Raymer, among the hills of southwestern Tennessee. With the rigors of life that Americans' family lived through in the early frontier, our Mullins family of 18 children and their descendants sustained their own American dream, which our family is most proud of today. Our patriarch and forefather, Anthony Mullins, remains to stand as our own legend of Italian-American pride that flows in our veins. Anthony died on November the 3rd, 1836, at the age of 85. In his will, he listed all 18 of his children by name. Anthony spent a proud lifetime of 62 years in serving his adopted country as well as his large family. All I can say is that Grandpa Anthony was quite a man. With a spirit and Italian blood, our family gratefully and proudly claims today. Anthony is buried in Blanche Cemetery in Lincoln County, Tennessee. With this, I just wish to say, Vivo Antonio Molina! Vivo our Italian-American heritage! And God bless America, our home sweet home. Hope you enjoyed our video, and most of all, God bless you.
Non più tra i farfalloni amoroso, notte e giorno di torno girano, delle belle turbando al riposo, Narcisetto Atoncino d'amor. Delle belle turbando al riposo, Narcisetto Atoncino d'amor.